Write and publish your own book to hold it in your own hand? I'm Mila Johansson from Pen to Published, and I coach writing and publishing. In fact, I helped Steve, Irma, and Olivia put together their book, Heart Notes, as an example of what I do. And I'm so excited to be an official sponsor for the Sing Your Heart Song Summit in July. Right now, you're going to experience a speaker spotlight series. There are so many valuable speakers for you to get to know before they do their presentation. Don't just watch, join the conversation in chat.
The Sing Your Heart Song Speaker Spotlight featuring Imani Reynolds. Imani Reynolds is the lead researcher and host of GEM class. GEM stands for Grow, Embody, Move. Imani helps you to grow in your own identity, embody your own love, and move with your own intentions. She shares practical tips to improve self-awareness, self-appreciation, and personal goal setting. Since starting GEM class, Imani has developed science-backed, research-based frameworks to help us be as authentic as possible in our identities, thoughts, behaviors, communications, and our pursuits. You can find Imani Reynolds on LinkedIn. Mark your calendars. Imani will be speaking on day 1 of our summit, Finding Your Heart Song and Finding Your Gem. Imani's favorite quote comes from Toni Morrison. If you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. Oh my goodness, what a morning! We are live streaming much later than I had anticipated. And thank you so much for all of your patience. Welcome to the Sing Your Heart Song Speaker Spotlight. And there's something to be said about wanting just to be consistent, wanting just to continue our streak. And, you know, our speakers' time is so valuable, and we so appreciate their flexibility of being here and joining us in this online collaboration and just rolling with the punches as things come up with online and internet issues. I'm traveling this week, and so I really have had to MacGyver a lot of the things I would normally have in my own studio and making it work. And so I just learned to just laugh through it. I practice my ho ho ha ha ha's rather than just getting frustrated and wanting to throw the computer on the floor. But we're here now. Thank you so much for your patience. Please drop us a note in the comments of where you're coming from. How are you today? Please say hello in the comments. And hopefully my co-host Steph will be able to join me, but he has also been having some computer issues today. And we've been back and forth on WhatsApp Messenger, just trying to figure things out. But I know that he'll be with us in the comments somewhere too. So thank you so much. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited to bring forward our presenter today, Imani Reynolds. And hang on one second. Let me go find her. And let's see here. Ta-da! Hi, Imani.
Hello, good to be here.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your willingness to participate and being open-minded today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is super exciting and something that I've been looking forward to. So I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. And I have to give a big shout out to you, Imani, because you found our summit through LinkedIn. So
Yes, I
we
did.
love LinkedIn. And I was so thrilled that you saw my post for call for submissions, call for speakers, and you instantly applied.
Yes, I was just looking for opportunities to speak and share my message, and so it was great that I found you on LinkedIn. I figured, it couldn't hurt to try LinkedIn. So yeah.
It couldn't hurt to try to figure out LinkedIn. Absolutely. Steph Garvin, he says ho ho's the way to go. And you know what? Oh my gosh. By the power of laughter, here he is. Steph, you made it!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There's the bell.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Okay.
Excellent. Oh my gosh. So happy to have you here.
Oh my gosh, what a morning. 2 hours of trying to get this computer to work.
Hours, yeah. Amazing, right? But we persevered. We got through it. And, it's just, I had to figure it out. Like, I had to figure it out. I couldn't let it go. I was very determined. I was like, I'm going to get on live no matter what.
And you pulled me in too, so nice job, Olivia. And thank you, Imani, for your patience and your flexibility.
Of course. No problem at all. It's exciting to be here with you guys. So, okay.
We're off to a rip-roaring start.
Yeah, absolutely. Imani, I love that photo of you in South Africa. When was that trip taken?
Thank you. It was taken 2019. And the funny thing is, I did a lot of traveling in 2019, not knowing what 2020 would bring. So I was glad that I got that trip done.
Wow.
So it was awesome. It was really great.
And where were you on that bridge? Because it had mountains, had water. It's just majestic.
I have to remember the exact name of that location, but the funny thing is, I think that was in Cape Town. That was where I stayed majority of the time. And people don't realize just the beauty of that city and that it is like a mixture of mountains and water. And you're pretty much at the southern tip of Africa, like very, very far down. And so it was really great to be there. I'll have to find the exact location of where I was, but it was great. I mean, every corner was like mountains or water, and I really enjoyed that trip. So it was great.
Two of my favorite things.
Yes.
Mountains and water combined.
And Irma's from South Africa. Irma's from South Africa. Yep. And Jan Roberts, your fellow speaker at the summit, is in South Africa. So I hope you have a chance to talk to Jan.
I should. That's awesome. Yeah, I was visiting, a friend of mine was visiting some friends of hers, and I kind of tagged along on the trip. She's like, yeah, I'm going to South Africa in a few months. And I'm like, we're going to South Africa in a few months. And that's how I ended up there. So it was great. It was really, really great. I love America, but it definitely, the nature there made America look like it needs to get its act together because it was great. So. Yeah.
Come on, America, get your act together.
Yeah, I was kind of like, my goodness. And people who live there, they're used to seeing that. So they're like, oh yeah, just an ocean, bordering a mountain, and I'm thinking, this is your daily view? This is insane. So yeah, it was great.
That's what I loved about living in the Northwest and in the Puget Sound area particularly, was that you have the mountains and you have the ocean. Although it sounds like they're much closer where you were together than where I was. You could see the mountains and the sound and be close to the ocean, but it was to get there was a couple of hours drive.
For sure. It was convenient to have everything there in one location. So that's for sure. I would definitely recommend South Africa to you guys.
I'll have to add that to my bucket list.
No, we're definitely going. If Irma's there and Jan is there, yeah, we're definitely going.
Yeah, for sure. Please do. And it's a huge
Summit
country.
in South Africa.
It's a huge country, so not every area of it looks the same. But where I was Cape Town, and so it makes sense. It's the Southern Cape, so it was great.
Wow,
beautiful. Well, let's talk a little bit about you, because I know you still have a job, right, with Cox Media Group?
Yes, I do. I am a senior marketing analyst with Cox.
That is amazing, because I'm very intrigued, because in your bio on LinkedIn, right, you do a lot with like finding stories. Amidst the data, amidst all the research. And then how did you come up with GEM? So you got a side hustle and your 9 to 5.
Yeah. So it's so funny. gym class used to be everybody is a gym. It started off, there were a lot of iterations of what this idea was. And at first I said, I'm very into fashion, and fashion is an industry that can be very exclusive. I remember watching like America's Next Top Model and shows like that as a child and as a preteen, thinking like, wow, you really have to meet a certain set of requirements to be considered just in this fashion industry. And even like looking at clothing and things like that, or just models or people in ads, um, I never seemed to be the person that like advertising and media was like, oh, this is the person that we want. Like, this is the image of beauty. And I, in particular, I'm what's considered just, a regular size, but I noticed that there are women who are considered, plus size, and they can't even go into the store and buy clothing for themselves. And so I said, okay, let me start this company that is based on the idea that, everyone should be accepted, everyone has something valuable to offer, and we are all gyms. So I came up with Everybody is a Gym. It was like everybody, BODY, is a gym. And then, like, as I was continuing down that journey, I realized, it's the fashion. Fashion is not what's most important to me here right now. It's just the inspirational part of it, and just everyone knowing that they have something unique to offer, and they don't have to try to fit into a box that people may try to put them into. And so then, okay, I said I still like gym. I still like that word and what it means, because it does mean something that's unique and valuable. Um, but I want those letters to mean something too. And so I thought about the ways that we can be authentic to ourselves, and that's in our identity. So G is grow your own identity. That's in our relationship with ourselves, and E is embody your own love. So that's kind of I was thinking. That's kind of how I was thinking about like your relationship with yourself. And then we can also be authentic in what we choose to do with our lives and the path that we choose to follow. So M is move with your own intentions. And so I said, I could put these all together and make something really unique and special. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up here. But it started just in a lot of different places. And I think I'm in a place now where I'm confident about what the mission is. And yeah, I kind of had to narrow it down. Like, I started at fashion, but I was like, I really, really care about the message here the most. So
that is really cool, Imani. I love how you pulled from like these disparate sources down to the gem of what you're doing. And I can so relate to. I'm a short guy who's got a decent build, and finding clothes that fit literally in some cases is impossible. Like they don't make pants my size, and so everything I buy I have to alter, and it's so frustrating. But I never made the connection that of kind of inclusion and diversity. That not only do we have these frustrations that we have, but that we can create a space, a place where people feel included, feel like you fit in, no matter what size or color or mood or whatever you may be. That we all have a place to go in order to feel like we're not alone.
Yeah, that's very true. And I realized that a lot of us are just not happy, but not for reasons that we should not be happy about. It's just us feeling like we're racing towards something, or that we really have to keep up with something or someone or some idea. And so I read this book recently. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And the name of the author is slipping my mind right now. But it was a great book because he talked about this life lie that we all live under, that, there's something in our future that we have to be trying to get, or the past is still haunting us. And we're basically all like haunted by these ideas that aren't even real, like in the present, but just this feeling of like, I am not good enough. I still have things to work on. There's never any room to just be content. And so I think there's a lot to be said for authenticity and people feeling free to be themselves and go after what's going to make them happy, even down to their career and their choice of job. I mean, we all come into this world like with such big ideas and wanting to be astronauts or chefs or something ridiculous, and somewhere along the way, it's kind of like, okay, that was cute when you were 10, but now you're 18 and now it's time for the real world. And a lot of us, we never really get out of that. We never get back to that place we were when we were 10. That just willingness to explore different things and willingness to take risks for the sake of being happy. So I hope that we can all just get back there someday.
That is awesome. That recovering that original dream, that original vision of what could be. I think I know I've got that book, The Courage to Be Disliked, on my reading list.
I'm not surprised, Steph, if you have it on your reading
It's
list.
great. It's really, really great. It was a good one.
And to be honest, I have another 200 books on my reading list. But thanks for helping bubble it up to the top. So, But I think that whole idea of the courage to be disliked, how often do we delude ourselves, tamp ourselves down in order to fit some likable version of ourselves and thus actually get rid of the things that make us a gem, that make us sparkle. It's like, well, I can't shine in that way because, someone might not like it. And I can't shine in that way because someone might not like it. And pretty soon we're just like, whittled down to nothing rather than being the amazing, splendid creature that we are.
Yeah, that's very true. And being amazing and being a gem can sometimes bring criticism, and a lot of us are not, of course, nobody likes to be criticized. Nobody likes for people to say, hey, your idea is creative, but it's dumb or whatever, I know like with myself, that's a huge fear that I kind of have to get over. And even like in sharing my work and promoting what I've done, sometimes I can feel like, oh no, I'm setting myself up for rejection. I'm setting myself up to be exposed in a little, and it's been a journey to be comfortable with what I believe in and being comfortable in going after those things that I want to happen. And I think we all have to be like that, and it takes courage. It does. The courage to be disliked is a big one. But that book it's great. It really is great. Winnie was just talking about like the present is really the only thing that's real, and it's cliche, but when you hear someone else say it, it's like, you're right. I'm not happy about some future event or some uncertainty. That's not really a reason to not be happy right now, So
I'm just so happy we're all together. Like this, like it really kept me present, right? Like, this has happened. I really want to pull through. Like this is sort of like my baby project is doing these speaker spot live streams, and so I really wanted to make sure that we pull this off. So let's talk a little bit about how you're promoting GEM classes. So what are you doing now to get the word out, to get that exposure going, Jim?
Well, I've been using all my social media channels and trying to figure out, which one can I pick up the best stride in. So I have done TikTok for a long time, and I'm transitioning to YouTube and trying to get my content out that way. And also setting up a podcast. So that should be in the works, and doing more events like this. I want to be able to go and speak in person, hopefully, to different groups. I'm in Atlanta right now, so I want to start off locally in Atlanta and develop like a strong keynote and be able to travel and give that message to as many people as possible. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, but more to come in the future.
How exciting.
It is.
So you and I are actually fairly close. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. So we go down to Atlanta, I don't know, every couple of months or so. And we were down there, I think, last month and went to the what is it called? The National Center for Human Rights, or
yes. That's here in Atlanta, downtown.
Yeah,
great place.
Very downtown.
Yeah, I think it's right next to Coke, like the Coca-Cola, and what else? The aquarium.
The aquarium. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were having some massive event at the park right across the street when we were there. So
they always are. They always are. There's never a dull moment in Atlanta, for sure. So That's
I
awesome.
love visiting Atlanta. We were there for the 4th of July celebration. So we were on that
Okay.
lawn watching the fireworks.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly where that is. Okay, that's great. And I've actually been to Asheville, North Carolina before.
Mm,
I went to school in North Carolina, and so I
really?
have some friends that are from there. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a nice place. I went in the fall, and it's beautiful, very
It
beautiful.
is beautiful. The fall and between winter, I'm not so excited about, but everything else is awesome.
Yeah, it is really great. Really.
Isn't it nice to know that we're all connected in some way, even though we're virtually? That's how we met virtually, but we do have
Mhm.
some commonality as far as geography. Oh, I went to school there. I've been to there to visit as a tourist, etc. So
Mhm.
I love
Yeah,
it when things come out that we're more connected than we think we are.
that's very true. I think the world is way smaller than we think it is. So that's great.
Absolutely. So, where did you go to school in North Carolina?
Chapel Hill, UNC
Okay.
Chapel. Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice
So I
school.
was there, and I'm from Alabama originally, and then I went to North Carolina for school, and then moved to Atlanta. So I'm Southern all around. Definitely, the yes,
Very southern.
yeah, very very Southern. So
But you don't have much of a southern accent.
thank you. Well, I don't know. Should I say thank you?
I don't know if you should
So
say thank
funny.
you or not, but
Yeah, I won't say thank you, but that's interesting. I was actually I think I was in an Uber in New York City one day, and the driver is like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Alabama." He's like, "I can tell, you know." So I'm thinking, "Oh
really?
wow, I must have a Southern accent," but I think it just depends from person to person.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
think we just
I'm from the West Coast,
okay.
Oregon and Washington, and when my wife is literally from here,
Hmm.
and when I first came out here and just heard how literally heard how different it was because of the accent and everything, it was just like, wow.
Wow.
Not only does it look different, but it sounds different.
Yeah, that's very, very true. It's different. And maybe we speak more slowly than I guess someone in New York City. That's kind of what I try to attribute it to. So
That's what I've heard is that, New York City people are just like boom, boom, boom.
yeah, and I'm always like, what did you say? Like, excuse me? I don't
Slow
know.
down.
Yeah, I am just like, come on, guys, let's slow down here. But yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's good.
cool.
So since you're on TikTok, I want to know from you, what is the advantage of being on TikTok? What is your best advice for being on TikTok?
Best advice: TikTok is a place where people could sense like authenticity in your content. So it's very, very different from, let's say, Instagram, where people are kind of crafting things together, or YouTube, even where you got videos that have all the edits and the names and everything in like the text and stuff like that. TikTok is very much, they value someone just picking up their phone and saying what comes to mind and just being true about their feelings. So when I started doing that, I think that's when I saw the most interaction and engagement. Um, Instead of, like how for YouTube you might write a script, or you might have all of the edits you want to include, or you might have all the music, whereas TikTok does use music and things like that, but it's very much, hey, let's just be regular people and share your ideas that way. So that's been something that's been helpful for me on TikTok.
Huh.
It's very interesting because it is a much younger audience, but it's leaning towards, okay, us regular adults are starting to join, and it's not just teenagers anymore. So that's one cool thing to keep in mind. I think some people still think of TikTok as it was in its early days, where everyone is just doing this all the time. But now it's people with actual ideas. You might run into like a therapist that's giving mental health tips, or a fitness instructor that's giving you 3 things to do during your day. So I think it's a great place. So you guys should definitely check it out when you can.
Huh. I I I guess follow TikTok vicariously through my children because they're all. I think they're on TikTok and YouTube more than anything.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And even if you look at apps like Instagram, they're leaning towards video now. So I think video, I mean, depending on how you look at it, it's kind of the content of the future. That's kind of what we're all going towards. So,
And it's
and
all about that authenticity, making a real connection. And
mhm, yeah, and being willing to engage with people, being willing to be open to their feedback, or share someone else's content and find people that are similar to you and may have similar ideas. So yeah, it's about finding that community.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Well, you've just changed my perspective on TikTok.
Yes. Now, I will say the annoying thing about TikTok is the algorithm is so great in the sense that it will serve you things that it thinks you want to see. So if I accidentally watch a dance video one day, now I can't get that person off my feed. I'm just like, oh, TikTok. It was once, that I watched it, but I don't have to see dance all the time. So I guess you just have to be intentional about what you want to see, and they will show you that content. But that's been the only thing. It's like, okay, I guess I watched this puppy video, and now it's going to be all dogs. So, yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like YouTube. We just created the Sing Your Heart Song Summit YouTube channel, I think, in the last week, right, Olivia?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I go onto YouTube when I'm logged into that channel, I'm surprised at the suggested videos that is feeding up. It's like, I would never have thought of looking at that.
Yeah. I don't know. And a lot of times the platform is just trying to test to see what you might like. So maybe don't watch it. They may serve it back to you again. That's
right.
Or watch it privately, incognito.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Very good point.
So.
Good tips. It's all about getting your heart song out there, right?
Yeah, that's very, very true.
So you had mentioned earlier about just being exposed. How do you feel about that in this day and age with like all the digital media influences and that exposure?
Mm-hmm. You mean the exposure to just kind of rejection and people's
Because you're
comments?
exposing yourself out there, right? Like it takes a lot of to expose yourself out there. And so what has your experience been like with that, and just the feedback you've gotten?
Yeah, a person close to me told me that I have to stop seeing things as, I'm just trying to share for the sake of sharing. Like I had just a big wall that I built against promoting myself and promoting my work. And because it can kind of feel like arrogance a little bit. And, a lot of us are taught like, no one likes to show off. By sharing your work, whatever it is, that's just very arrogant of you to do that. And no one wants to promote their own work. And I had to see it from the perspective of I'm sharing something valuable that I hope helps people. And so I don't share my content for me, I share it for the viewer. And that kind of helped me to get over this feeling of like, oh, I don't want to seem boastful or bragging. And I really just want to share something that I think might help you and hope that you can share it with other people and see if it helps them too, And thinking about it like that really just helped me to kind of, I'm still working through the confusion and the hesitancy, but it really helped me to push forward and say, no, this is something valuable that you hope helps other people, and that's why you have to share it. But if no one knows that your work exists, then they can't find it, and they're not going to get that value from it. So that's been my journey with it so far.
I admire you because you got a head start on many of us. The confusion, the chaos is always there, but you've got a head start on it.
It is hard. It definitely is hard. I don't think people really talk about that often, just the confidence that it takes to say, I want to put this out there to the world, whether that's videos that you make or books that you write or anything like that. It's one thing to just share with people that are close to you that are going to say, this is great. That's what I would do in the initial stages. I would just say, hey, mom, dad, what do you guys think? And of course they're like, this is wonderful. This is great. I'm like, all right, great. I did it. But more than just my mom and dad need to see what I've done. And so I am like, okay, I need to share this with the world. I need to share this with other people. And another thing that has kind of been part of this journey is I have to believe in my idea enough to be able to put it out there, because there's a certain accountability that I didn't want by sharing it with a lot of people. So you have an idea about something, you share it with a ton of people. Now it can feel like all these people are watching you, and really everybody is kind of concerned with their own lives, so that's kind of an overstatement. But to us, it can just feel like, oh my gosh, they're gonna see that I didn't get that many views, on my YouTube video or something like that. But most people are probably not even spending that much time, thinking about the success of what you're doing. So we can't let this feeling of judgment and exposure hinder us from moving forward. I would even say sometimes, I'll share it when it gets big, or I'll share it when I think that it's been successful. But that's not how it works. You have to share something and be willing to accept where you are on the journey and be proud of where you are on the journey. Um, Not just when it's, deemed successful, and not just when you can say, okay, no one can judge me now because it's where I want it to be. So yeah, it's a lot to think about, and it really does take courage to put yourself out there.
Absolutely. And you make a good point in that, there are the vanity metrics that say, well, I got 10,000 likes or, whatever. But honestly, I find that to be a little bit deflating to worry about that type of thing. I mean, something might get, like, I've got one photo that one time I still have no idea why it got so much attention, but I got 500,000 views, and I'm like, what the heck?
Wow.
And I put other stuff out that I think is like way better and gets like nothing, and it's like, I can chase those metrics like that, or I can be doing like what you're saying and try to put out valuable content that makes a difference. And it's really about, is this about serving me or serving you, serving our audience?
Yeah, that is a big distinguisher. Trying to serve your community versus just serving yourself. It makes a difference.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all listening. If you're watching this on replay, there's so many gems embedded in this live. So please pay attention, join our conversation. And here's a writer downer. Be willing to accept where you are on the journey. And that comes directly from Imani Reynolds right here. So thank you so much, Imani, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. Just an awesome discussion with you all. So glad to be here.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes. So if you haven't register today, go ahead. Here's our registration link, www.singyourheartsongsummit.com. Grab those tickets. You definitely want to be able to participate further with Imani and what she has to share about GEM. Excellent. All right, Imani, we'll be in touch, and we'll see y'all real soon.
All right. See you all next time.
Bye-bye. See y'all next time. Woo! All right, another one down in the books.
We made it happen. Wow.
We made it happen, and our speakers are pulling through for us. We're pulling through with each other, and it's all good. I'm super happy about that. Super happy. All right,
we're making the tech demons bounce. So
no longer a foe. They are our friends. So
turn them around. Tame your dragons.
Tame your tech dragons. Ooh, I think that'd be a great sub-summit. Let's tame your tech dragon. Ho-ho all the way.
The ho-ho remedy.
The ho-ho remedy, exactly. All right, Steph, we're going to play the outro clip. I will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.